Hello everyone, it's Teresa here, and today I'm bringing you some new textures that I found at Dollar Tree. These are table runners that just came out at my Dollar Tree for the summer season. There's this watermelon one and it's pink. I've got the pineapple one that has different sizes of pineapples, it looks like, and this one's yellow or gold. And then this green one which has the different leaves, and they're mostly the same size. So I've got from these three today. I wanted to work on the green one and use that one. So taking it apart for the first time here, it has like a plastic casing around it and then a little piece of tape and more plastic. And as I was unrolling it, I realized all of it has that plastic, and that's probably just to keep the design straight as it rolls up. So I am going to cut this down. I am using my 8 by 10 inch jelly plate today. So I'm just going to grab my scissors and cut out what I need. Again, there is that plastic film behind this, and I'm cutting through the table runner and the plastic. And then I just take what was left and rolled that back up. I can either use that for a texture later on, or maybe I can use it as a table runner. For my other two, I'm just going to set those aside because today I'll just be working with this green one. So I went ahead and added this. I straightened it out after I took the plastic off of it and just put it on my jelly plate. The plastic, I just ended up throwing that away. I didn't know if there was any need to keep it. And then I'm going to pull out some of my Amsterdam paints. I've got sky blue, cobalt blue, and then I wanted to make it look kind of like a sky. I pulled out some of this Mort Violet, also by Amsterdam, because I thought I would maybe make it look like an evening sky. So I'll have some purple across the top, and then I'll bring in my two blues, and then I ended up bringing in a white. I was going to put it on the gel plate, but sometimes my colors don't blend as well that way, so I just put them out on my Brayer Off magazine. This is a very large magazine, and I didn't realize it, but it is very bent. I don't know, it's not flat. So as I was brayering these colors out, I noticed that the two in the middle were blending nicely, but the other two were barely touching the brayer. So I was trying to bend the paper back again to get all of the colors to touch. So in the future, I will rip my pages out of the magazine and just use them flat because these pages are so big. Then I just removed the leaves to see what was left. And it was just this nice outline of the leaves. I actually didn't think they really looked much like leaves. I was caught more by the little dots and things, and to me it almost started looking like a pattern versus the leaves. So I thought maybe I should bring in some greens, and I'd complement the green with some yellow and some blue to see if I can make them look a little more like leaves. So at this point I had ripped out my page of magazine Brayer Off paper, and that way I could brayer off my extra paint and it wasn't going to be all wrinkly. I did want to put a little bit of texture or design into my leaves, so I brought in a stencil. This is designed by Eddie Reyes, sold at PM Artist Studio, called Diamond Rings. He has two styles. This is style 1. I used this tissue paper that I've been using as a scrap for my prints, and I just went ahead and pressed in all the little details so that I could get some texture, but I didn't press super hard. I didn't want to fully remove all of the paint, so I was just lightly pressing. And there were some areas that had more paint left than other areas. So for the ones that had more paint, I brought in this little flower embossed piece of cardstock and just wanted to add a little bit more design into this background. After I let that dry, I came in with 3 craft paints. These are from Craft Smart. I got these at Michael's. There's a turquoise, a pink, and a bronze. Today I'm using my 32-pound hammer mill copy paper. Here's a shout out to my viewer Avanel. She gave me the tip of using this top of a candle jar or lid of a candle jar as a baron. I love that tip. And here is the print after it dried for about 5 minutes. I think it looks so cool with the 2 layers of paint and then the metallics in the background. I just love that the leaves have a little bit of interest to them, almost like a wallpapery type thing. But then the colors in the foreground, the purple blues, they are definitely more matte colored. I wanted to try this with a different set of paints, kind of the same color scheme and process, but this time I'm using the Golden Fluid Acrylics. Now, the fluid acrylics are transparent, a lot more than the Amsterdam paints, plus they're fluid, so they just sprayer out a little bit different and work differently. So I thought I'd try this, and instead of putting down my stencil or leaf shape first and putting the paint colors over the top, this time I decided to put the paint colors down on the plate first, sprayer out my colors, and then I'll put my leaves over the top. Now, being that these are fluid, my purple was definitely drying out pretty quickly, so I did have to reapply my purple. The white is more opaque than the other colors. And for some reason, my purple is more transparent than my other colors. My manganese was starting to dry out, so I did have to add more of my blue. And I think at this point I probably should have added in a little bit more of my other 2 colors, but I just went with adding these 2 colors and kind of left it at that. Now I'm using the painted side down, so the other side of it had the paint from my other gel print. And then I am coming in with this piece of tissue paper again, but I flipped it over so that I had the first design on one side and then this design will be on the other side. The paint on the bottom part of this print was pretty dry and a lot of it pulled up, so it wasn't as detailed, but the purpley blue part definitely had more of the leaf shape. And I thought it actually looked quite nice like this. It had more interest in the leaf and it looked a lot more like a leaf to me this way. I did come in with my colors that were similar to what I used on the first print. And to make them a little more opaque, I did bring in some Titan Buff, the white color, and I blended that with my three. It was a turquoise color, a green, yellow shade, and then a yellow. This was the yellow light. For the texture on this one, I'm just using a different embossing folder that looks kind of tropical to me and has a lot of flowers and leaves on it. I had this cardboard piece that has cardboard on one side and drywall tape on the other side. So I used the drywall tape side just to add a little bit more texture into these little flower areas. Then I added 4 of my Craft Smart paints. These are the metallics. The color I added this time was the light gold at the bottom, but the other 3 colors are the same that I used on the last print. I definitely recommend these Craft Smart metallic paints. They are really nice. I do love the way they mix together. The colors go well and they offer a lot of shine to them for being a cheaper paint. Of my craft paints, my metallics are the ones I tend to go for more often because they have a lot of opacity to them and the shine to them is quite similar to the more expensive paints. So this print had just 2 or 3 little areas that didn't pull up. I probably didn't let this one dry quite as long as my other print, but it still had some paint pulling up, so it wasn't completely white. And so this is the second print here. And you can see the leaves definitely look more like leaves. They almost look like a shadow of the leaves in blue against the greenery. And the pink in the background kind of looks like a sunset line, a skyline maybe. And the bottom part is more of those flower and grid texture versus the leaf texture. So it kind of fades out there. Whereas this first print definitely had the entire leaf design showing up. So they're a little bit, well, quite a bit different actually. And I think because of the opacity that I used on the Golden Fluid Acrylics, you can see that purple at the top does not look purple at all because of the color I put behind it. So it ended up looking more like a blue than a purple against that green. And the Amsterdam paints, because they were opaque, they definitely all maintained their colors. So I just wanted to show you the difference, working with the negative of the leaf image and then the positive of it, and then showing what the 2 different kinds of paints. They're both very good quality. The Amsterdam paints are very nice, opaque quality, and the Golden Fluids, of course, are higher end paints, and I definitely like both of them. They're just completely different. So let me know in the comments which was your favorite, the negative or the positive of the leaf shape, and how did you like the color, the paints? Would you prefer the one with the Amsterdam or with the golden with the transparent? Anyway, I'd love to hear from you, and thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video. Happy crafting, y'all.